listen to the account of how the Catalina Seaplane PBY 5A N5593V was abandoned on this shipwreck body. Thomas W. Kendall, a 44-year-old wealthy industrialist, owned a lucrative air conditioning business in the United States in the 1950s. That he was able to retire young with a sizable income, allowing him to do whatever he wished. The Kendalls set out on their round-the-world trip in 1959, accompanied by their 4 children, ranging in age from 8 to 24, son Bob, as well as a few friends who were fortunate enough to be invited. The jet was piloted by Kendall's son, Bob. Kendall and his family were leaving Luxor, Egypt, and intending to fly to Baghdad, along the Euphrates River. They were flying over Saudi Arabia's northwestern coast, and as they glanced out the windows, they noticed the area's gorgeous, rustic beaches, so they decided to land. They landed in Ras Al Sheikh Hamid, on the western tip of the Gulf of Aqaba, where the Red Sea meets the Gulf of Aqaba. The biggest problem for them was that they did not have permission to land in Saudi Arabia, which was a concern because, even now, you cannot land in a country without an entry permit. The Kendalls and their companions landed 50 feet from the shore, just far enough ashore to prevent the plane from being washed away overnight. They made camp for the night, and as the wind built up, they ate and went to bed, oblivious to what awaited them the next day. They awoke at 6 a.m. the following morning, March 23, and quickly hoisted the American flag over the pilot's compartment. They reasoned that if anyone happened to be nearby, the flag would identify them as friendly. They had heard that the Saudi Arabs were American allies. They failed to realize that many of their men are unfamiliar with their own flag, let alone the stars and stripes. Kendall heard the sounds of what he assumed were firecrackers in the distance later that day, at 4:32 p.m., while checking on the engine while 2 of the children were playing in the shallow water. Suddenly, he observed small splashes in the water next to a floating rubber raft. Someone was aiming a gun at them. There was a lot of tension between Israel and Egypt in the area at the time, so the Saudi Coast Guard for the area was on high alert. Local tribesmen opened fire on the Catalina, which Bedouin attached to the Saudi Arabian army feared. It was assumed that the inmates were Israeli commandos. The barrage of gunfire lasted around 30 minutes, with the jet surviving approximately 300 shots. Fortunately, neither Kendall, his family, nor any of the others were hurt. Nonetheless, the Catalina sustained serious damage, rendering it unfit for flight. The Kendalls were eventually apprehended in Jeddah, interrogated, and subsequently let free with the assistance of the American ambassador before returning to the United States. On the shore, the Catalina was abandoned for now more than 60 years.